Welcome to another episode of Fitness Franchise Business Secrets. I'm Forrest Walden, founder and CEO of Iron Tribe.
Karen Broadwater, president of Iron Tribe.
And today we have a fun conversation to have. It's actually a pretty new concept to us even, and that's the concept of the Flywheel Effect. If you've ever followed Jim Collins' work, he talks about this pretty extensively. I think the first time he wrote about it was in Good to Great, and he talks about every company should know what their flywheel concept is. So talk a little bit about just flywheel in particular and what it is.
Yeah, ultimately it's deciding what it is that you want to be able to create the momentum in your business. Like what is not necessarily the purpose, we've gone over that, not necessarily the vision, but really what it is that you want your ultimate purpose around that to be and what creates momentum. So particularly ours, we want to start to create careers in fitness. So we want everything else to be able to support and really push that over the edge to differentiate us, to create careers in fitness. And that's kind of our internal maybe burn behind the passion, like really what we ultimately want to achieve.
Yes, I'll take a step back before we get into what ours is,
Sure.
And just the concept of the flywheel. So if you think about it, whether it's pushing a rock up a hill like the old Greek mythology, Sisyphus, is that how you say it? Sisyphus?
That's on you.
Where like you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and it takes so long to get momentum. Or the literal flywheel is like a churn, like a grinding grain and pushing and pushing, and at some point it starts to spin. Or a merry-go-round, like our business coach when he was talking about the concept is, at what point, you're flinging the merry-go-round, at what point does it get that centrifugal force where it just goes on its own, right?
Yep.
And so that's the concept. What is that in your business that creates that momentum and the flywheel effect takes over? And so what's interesting about this is most businesses aren't clear on what the flywheel is. And I don't think we were clear on what the flywheel is. And so we've referenced Colin. He's been on the show, our business coach. Yep. And after we've gone through all this foundational work, he came back and said, now here's something that I want to take you guys through.
You didn't even want to do it.
I didn't want to do it. I was like, oh my gosh, here's another thing.
I was like, Colin, please, I want to do it.
Yeah, and you scheduled an extra call to do it, and I went in begrudgingly, but it was actually a really cool process.
It was so fun.
Okay, so you've already kind of given away like what it is, but let's talk about our thinking through, okay, there's so many things. Is it marketing? Is it signing a client? Is it opening new gyms? Is it making sure that we have the best personal training? Like, yes, all that stuff's true, but at the end of the day, talk about kind of our thinking of what makes the Iron Tribe business model hum. What creates that if this is true, everything else kind of works.
Yeah, so to back up a little bit, our purpose is we create fitness communities that change lives, right? And that's something I've always been really passionate about, but I've almost, behind the scenes, Forrest and I have always said, we want to create careers in fitness, but it's never fit. It doesn't fit in our mission. It doesn't fit in our core values, but that's something that's like our personal passion. We really love people. We really want people in the fitness industry who have a passion to be able to move forward and have a career and be proud at Christmas with the in-laws and all of that. And so the flywheel, really, we were able to finally articulate that and fit it into our brand vision by pulling together that we create careers in fitness and begin that as the flywheel of, if we do this one thing, then what else has to take place to continue to invest in that flywheel to keep going so that we continue to create fitness communities that change lives. They worked very synergetically versus being in completely different silos. So this flywheel definitely complements and makes our bigger mission possible.
Yeah, and you bring up a great point. One of the reasons we're passionate about creating careers, for me, it was a personal vendetta of I had done all the things. I had worked in a big box gym. I'd worked in boutique gyms. I'd gone to clients' houses. I had been the trainer who was getting paid when I had a client and wasn't getting paid when I didn't have a client. It was terrible. And then I ran a whole nother model that was based off hiring coaches who only got paid when they coached. And so I saw the pitfalls of them trying to make a career of it. And then from your perspective, we got really tired of losing coaches after about 1 or 2 years when they would say, I love what I do here. This is my passion, but I've got to go XYZ to go make a real job, real money, and it was selling insurance and whatever things that
but these things that they don't want to do.
They don't want to do and don't have a passion for.
No,
right?
And I have a passion for people who have a passion, and I cannot stand that the majority of businesses are not set up for people with passions to thrive and be paid. And I mean, even going into the restaurant industry, your servers and your hostess, they matter for your experience. And so it really matters in our business that our people are our product. So making certain they were our focus in all of this was crucial.
And that intersects with the fact that differentiating yourself in the fitness industry can be difficult, right?
Very difficult.
We're largely doing the same exercises. We're largely using the same equipment. We're largely saying the same things. I mean, every ad I could write, every Facebook piece of copy I could write right now, I think every one of our competitors would say,
fitness, nutrition, and accountability.
They would say, me too.
Yeah.
And whatever you came up with, whatever, internal competition, external, everybody's saying me too. But what they can't say me too is our people.
Yes.
How do we have people? I mean, I think this is a very timely topic because literally just had one of our top coaches come back from an amazing vacation to Banff, Canada, because he's been with us 10 years. And at 10 years, we give away a vacation. And he and his wife, he asked me, where should I go? And I said, well, one of my favorite places ever was Banff. And so all weekend, I'm seeing his pictures. But I love the fact that Frank and Rachel can be in Banff.
I know.
And their fitness company, where he's been pouring into members for 10 years and changed their lives, are sending them on that time. I mean, that's the type of experiences we want to create, because here's what I know. Anyone who goes to our Mountain Brook location, anyone who works with Frank will tell you they are getting an unbelievable experience. And that's what you can't replicate. So when we thought about our flywheel, it's having the Franks and having the Matts and having the Erics, and I could go all down the line of our corporate staff that we know they're delivering an experience they can't get anywhere else, whether it's HIIT or cycling or Pure Barre or CrossFit or whatever it is. At the end of the day, that's not what we want our people talking about. We want our clients talking about the coaches that are pouring into them and not necessarily the modalities. Okay, so let's talk about, we know where it starts, but where does it lead? Walk them through the flywheel, and hopefully we'll have a graphic up in post.
Yes. So it starts with creating careers in fitness, and then if we can create careers in fitness, what we have to do next is implement our Iron Tribe systems, which is great. We're a franchise, obviously. We have systems in place. So we can get the right people and get the right systems, meaning we want to make the coaches' lives a little easier in the job as well. So do these things, pour your personality out, go home, be with your family, and live a great life while you work for us, because our systems work. And when they don't, we change them. We listen and implement as seen. And then it creates raving fans. So not only, like Forrest just said, if you were to go to Frank's class specifically, you're going to have a great experience. The clients are going to love it. But also, how much is it to think about Frank and Rachel are on a vacation right now, and even Frank's wife or his mom or whoever is like, man, your company will pay for a vacation? Like, that's creating raving fans within our staff as well. So again, we create careers for them, then we implement systems. Implementing systems creates raving fans for the clients and for the staff, for the franchise owners. It works on all levels. Then ultimately we are able to retain people. We keep clients. Happy clients stay, and then happy staff stays, which is great. When we keep people, we get to add more money to the bottom line, and then we get to take that money and reinvest that into our people. So when we're able to pay them more, give them more bonuses, give them more gifts, like going on trips, Christmas presents, whatever that looks like, then we're able to continue to attract people that we can continue to invest in to create more careers in fitness. And it literally is the foundation of our business and how we thrive.
And it's interesting because you could hear this and be like, well, duh. Right?
I know, it sounds so simple.
It sounds so simple, but Colin's even come back to us and said, I've used this as an example with other companies, and they've been amazed at how you were able to lock in on something so singular as create careers in fitness. So it's actually, and I have found that to be true, that some of the things that seem so easy and most self-evident took a lot harder and more work to get there than you would expect.
Yes.
So I want to talk about a couple of places where this breaks down. And the first one, I think, is like the least obvious. because you would think implement your Iron Tribe systems. Well, you're doing that regardless, right?
Sure.
But give an
That's a good
example
point.
of how someone who's the wrong person, someone who's maybe not even trying to create a career in fitness, maybe they're just doing this as a placeholder between jobs. How will they approach implementing systems versus someone who's hungry and this is what they want to do and they fit our core values and all the things?
I could go a million different directions on that, but what it reminds me of is even when we were looking way before we created this, when we were building systems, was looking at the success of certain gyms. And I was looking at one gym that's like checking the boxes and they're doing everything that they should be doing and following the systems, and another gym that, let's call it like 80%, but the people are passionate and they're helping clients, and if they miss a checkbox for a clean bathroom, it's because they had too long of a conversation with the client and things like that. But these people over here, they're actually not even with us anymore, the check the boxes. Like, they really are just there to check it, see what's going on, did my job, it's not working, peace out, and move on, versus the person that we hire that's the right person that we're creating a career for. They're investing in their gym versus just checking boxes and leaving. So it's not something for a monkey.
So there's a letter of the law, there's a spirit of the law.
Yes.
So the letter of the law is the systems.
Yes.
Like, this is how you execute it. Spirit of the law is bringing the soft skills, the core values, we love people, right?
Yes.
We love fitness,
Yep.
like we serve with enthusiasm, all those things, bringing that to the table to lay into those
Well, and it goes back to
systems.
something I've been saying a lot lately is our systems aren't rules, they're tools. So they're not like you have to do it this way. It's if you're not getting the metrics and the numbers that you need to get, retention, clients showing up to class, things like that, then here's the tool on how to fix that versus here's everything that you have to do. You're going to be fired if you don't do all these things. It's more, let us help you reach the numbers that you want to reach so that you make more and you're able to stay here more and reach your own personal goals.
And if you haven't heard her say that, that means you're not following her. And you should go follow her.
Please follow me.
Karen, what's your Instagram?
K_flowwater.
She needs help. She needs more followers right
I
now.
do.
I'm
Help
beating her,
me.
but I know that's not going to last.
Yeah.
Okay, so one other thing I want to talk about is we know when we have the right people implementing our systems, it creates raving fans. And like you said, that
Yes.
works kind of at all levels.
Yep.
We have staff that are raving fans, but ultimately we have clients that are raving fans, right? So then you were able to retain people, okay? And when we retain people, that goes for clients and staff.
Yes.
But one thing we've seen just historically, it's inevitable as rain falls down and flames go up. When we lose staff, we lose clients.
Yes.
So by having staff who are staying longer, who are bought in, who are doing this full time, that naturally lowers attrition. And I know you and I have had the opportunity to be exposed to a lot of different fitness models, and even coaching gym owners from other fitness models. And they have this revolving door just in the way they pay their staff, right? And then they're saying, how do I fix my attrition?
Yes.
And we're like, this is a business model issue, right?
It is.
So anyway, just talk
Fundamentally.
about this retained people and how it just continues this flywheel effect.
Yeah, so I think, it's something that if you invest in something and you get back, then someone else is investing in you. And I feel when we do coach other fitness models, and the most frustrating thing is I can't change their model, but fundamentally at the end of the day, trading time for money is not someone invested in something that's going to produce the fruit that you need. They may come in and do a great job, but they're not invested. They're not giving their all. They're not giving their care. They probably don't know the client's kids' names or their knee injury, and they're coming at different times, and whoever it is, Marge, that they're helping, Marge hurt her knee last week, but the new coach doesn't know that. So now Marge has to re-explain, and she just doesn't feel valued. So being able to keep our people on the same shift, with the same clients, with the same, just each and every day stays the same. They're able to invest and pour in and really multiply what it is that their skills are. So I think that creates stability for everyone. The client knows what they're going to get unless the coach is on vacation, and thankfully they celebrate that when they do for the most part. And the coach knows what they're going to get because they have their people. Maybe it depends on the gym, 60 to 90 people, and that's all they have to wrap their arms around with and really care for them. So it becomes this lifestyle brand for us, for them, for the clients, and they have their own little mini community within our mini boutique community. So I think a lot of people, it's funny, when we interview, and I always forget about this, I have a whole bunch of people interview in the process with me. So maybe a manager, a coach, other people will also interview who I'm hiring. And one of the things that I can't articulate without it coming off as salesy, and I really don't experience it because I'm not on the front lines, is that access and the relationships to the clients. I mean, we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have everything that you could possibly think of, and our coaches see it as a benefit that that's their little family, and anything that they need, they can reach out and have that resource, and the clients feel the same. So the retaining people is just an amazing, like, you know, it's almost a flywheel within itself, and how they create relationships and invest in each other. But additionally, it allows for referrals to happen. I know that Frank's going to be my coach in this class. I'm going to send my friend to Frank. I know Frank's going to take care of him. Same thing, like if you have a plumber, you're not going to recommend a plumber you don't trust. And so we create that where the gyms can continue to grow around the fact that, I mean, Frank's been here 10 years. Hope to God he's not going anywhere. But we have that confidence, and the clients have that confidence that, yeah, I'd recommend Iron Tribe, but only like my coach. Well, great, because that coach is sticking around, and they have for, I mean, I think our average coach life cycle right now is 6 years, and that's huge for a coaching position.
Yep.
So,
by the way, if you're hearing weights falling in the background, we are in a location. Our corporate office is connected to a location. There's power cleans on the docket today, so you might hear some weights falling. Okay, and then finally, we know if we're retaining people, that means we have world-class attrition or retention, however you want to look at it, and that gives us the margin to reinvest. And so I was just reviewing our P&L, and I know one of our locations that you were just at a conference couple weekends ago receiving a massive award. But when I look at the payroll number, I think it would make a lot of people's eyes pop out of what this very small full-time staff, what they command and the type of revenue they're able to generate. But we know that location just executes like clockwork, and they're all paid accordingly. So just talk a little bit about that, and even maybe the award that location just won.
Yeah, I mean, this also was an intentional decision, 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
During COVID,
which we need a whole episode on how you handled COVID, because it was amazing. But during COVID, so Forrest is, not to say that he's not, but he's always been passionate about doing all of this and investing back in the staff. I more like meet with them and see their faces, so my passion coming back to him is always like, we have to figure this out, and you've never told me no. But coming back with a pay plan that really rewards everybody was rewarding within itself, and it's proven fruitful. All of our gyms have grown, what did we look at, 46% that year? I can't remember.
21 over 20?
Yeah, since we
Well, it was 2 years compounded over 20.
Yes. And I don't believe that's just coming out of COVID. I believe it was creating a payment plan that worked for everyone. So,
but you're talking about the corporate staff pay grew.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. I just want to clarify
that.
Yes.
Yes. But it grew the top line revenue as well.
Yes.
So being able to reinvest in them has been huge for all of this, because I believe, and actually we've even had people secret shop our gyms, and they don't know that anyone in our gym is not the manager or the owner, because everyone treats the gym like it's theirs. And I really believe that's because we truly reinvest, and they believe we reinvest in them. I don't believe they think we're like swimming in cash, because we are very transparent. We show all the numbers. So with that, we were able to take one gym from, can I say numbers?
I mean, can we do that? We are a franchise, but we do own that location.
Okay.
You can talk about the award. Just talk about the award.
Well, so we had an award recently where it was actually really fun. I want to tell the story, okay?
Okay.
So last year we went to a conference, and I will have Jen on one of these one day, so you will hear from her. But Jen is the manager at our Mountain Brook location, and we were at a conference 1 year ago. And if you know Jen, she doesn't like failing. So she also doesn't like laying this gauntlet of goals. She likes to like kind of work behind the scenes and hit something. So when she leaned into me,
so she doesn't have to put it out there at the risk of not hitting
it.
Yeah.
But then she's still a hustler.
Totally.
But she leaned into me, and I was so thrilled, because if she says it, she does not fail. And she leans in and she goes, I'm going to win that award. And I was like, Let's go. What it was is hit a run rate of $1 million gym, or actually $1 million gym within a trailing 12. She came back, she created a plan, she did the financials, she looked back what she did from May, it would have been May to May, and went to her team, rallied them, showed them what that would look like for their team, what they could make. And it's not like they even make more for winning an award, but it was just that thing they wanted to wrap around. And ultimately, I mean, there was a $150,000 jump from where they were before that, which is a huge growth for a gym that is, 2,200 square feet? I mean, it's tiny.
It's small.
It's tiny. So being able...
And a gym that's been open on 12 years.
I know.
Right? It's one thing to do it when
Yes.
you're 3-4 years old and you're still growing, but I mean, this is a mature location.
Yes. So being able to see that, see the team win, see them set their goals. There's another coach there who sat down with me last year and he said, I'm going to make X amount this year. And I'm a math person and I was doing the math. I'm like, this is not possible. But I also won't shoot down goals. And he did it because we put our money where our mouth is, and there's really no ceiling for our coaches. It's if you do XYZ, you make XYZ, and he did that, and I think that makes people go home even more proud of the work they do than necessarily that we just give raises. Like, it's at your fingertips. If you want it, you get it. If you don't, people just don't really work here anymore. So
True.
Being able to take that, I mean, even I know you're not really going there, but I think it's important the small things we do to reinvest. We give out, random socks during the year and pay ahead for a beard trim or a haircut. And we just are able to really look at our team as a whole and reinvest in them and hope that they feel seen as a person, not just as an employee.
Okay, so that brings us full circle
Yes.
on the flywheel.
It was a long story, sorry.
Well, but no, it's good because even though they are making more money than they've ever made in an Iron Tribe uniform, more money than arguably they could get anywhere else in the fitness industry, we're still getting the type of margins we need because of the volume that's being driven by that.
Yep.
And when we do that, we're able to then to reinvest not only in these fun things like socks and all that, but starting salary and bonus pay and these, so that when we sit down or you sit down, the team that's hiring sits down, like we're laying out a true opportunity, right? Which then allows us to hire better people and the flywheel just keeps rolling, right?
It feels just like when you sit down in a fitness consult and you genuinely have transformations that you can show. Like, it's true, we can help you. It's so fun to be able to confidently be like, it's true, you can make this. Me, Frank, Callaway, Jen, whoever. So that confidence to sit down with people and really sell a true career in fitness has been so fun. Whereas before, you really might be just selling a year or two position and hope that they love you enough to stay. Whereas now, I think even the people that start day one are more excited because they know that what we're selling them is really possible.
And I think one other thing that this helps me as the CEO who's ultimately responsible for the numbers and the profit and loss saying what it needs to say is when we're faced with a situation where we have a really good coach and we don't have a spot to put them.
Oh, yeah.
I have now become really comfortable saying, hire them, get them trained, let them float. We'll figure out something for them to do because inevitably we'll need a coach somewhere.
Yes.
Or it gives us confidence to go open a new location.
That's true.
It's hiring talent and having a bench and never being in that situation where we need someone and we can't find someone because then it's reactive and then that impacts attrition. I think one thing that our clients know is coaches will come and go. Even with, we just found out one of our coaches is probably moving, right? Like even with the best comp plans, everything, coaches will still leave.
Yes.
But I think our clients have trusted us enough to know, after seeing us doing it for 13 years now, is we're going to replace that coach with someone as good or better every single time.
Yes.
And when they know that, it just really cuts down on the apprehension of a coach. So anyway, that's the flywheel. I would challenge you, if you haven't thought through this, first of all, read Good to Great. It's a great book.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a seminal reading. You kind of have to have read that. But he does a really good job of articulating what it is. But then think through your business. Okay, what is that one thing that I need to focus on first that leads to everything else, and at the end of the day is the engine that drives your business? So I would say spend some time. What would you say?
I agree. I think don't let the simplicity of ours confuse you. To your point earlier, this was a 3-hour workshop of something that we've talked about everything in here for years. We just had someone from the outside really help us pull it together. But I would not overlook this. For the longest time, I'm like, mission, core values, and this has put more depth into our business than I think anything we've implemented thus far, as far as these are the things I'm going to focus on, period, even within the business model. And it's made even my job more succinct to remember anything outside of this is a distraction.
All right, there you have it. Do the flywheel. Go follow Karen on social media.
Yes,
she needs the help.
I need it.
And we will be back with more topics. And hey, guys, if there's something you want to hear us talk about, let us know. We'd love to talk about it. We've been doing this a long time. The only reason we can talk about it is because we've probably made the mistake. So let us know what you would like to hear from our mistakes so you don't repeat them. And we'll see you on the next episode.